fastest man in front of him today, and that was not an easy match.
And now we are ready to get underway here at Who's Number One.
Are you ready?
Fight! On the left in the blue is Michael Pixley. In the black, Cameron Reed. Reed may be aware of Pixley's wrestling pedigree, immediately looks to sit and to pull guard, because Pixley, man, he came out of the blocks there, running across the mat
That
at
was
him.
definitely a big blast double waiting to happen.
He wasn't aware.
It was ready. It wasn't really a choice, I don't think.
I mean, we mentioned Reed's intensity. Pixley is as intense as they come. I think people may be surprised to see him. He's very respectful, very polite, but man, I'm not sure I want to stand in front of him across a mat.
No, he's quiet, and he's very intense. You saw him slap the hand off of his face right now. So the backstory here is that Pixley was winning. I think it was the third round of the Nogi Worlds, and he got slapped. Got slapped in the match. He was winning 9-0, and the slap came in. Cameron lost in the last, I think, 2 seconds at the very end. Cameron says that it was not a loss. So now we
look
wanted
at
the
this
rematch.
now. He gets around into the north-south already, looking to pin those arms down and go around that neck, and Pixley has a deadly choke series. Man, he really does. We've seen him tap people out with guillotines, with darces, and he is a headhunter, so this is a great position from which to set up some of those attacks.
Yeah, I don't think he could be happier at 13 minutes into the match being in this position here. So much time to work. Also very little sweat here, very sticky, and he has every opportunity to take the lead in this match.
Yeah, Pixley's definitely a headhunter, like you guys said before. We've seen him finish a lot of Darces and a lot of Anacondas. And so right here in North-South, he's about as happy as he can be, like you said. Cameron really, really wanted the rematch after Nogi Worlds. You know, said it wasn't really a loss because there was a DQ, so there's definitely a little bit of bad blood coming into this
man,
fight.
they got reset in a very, very tight position here. It looks like he could be very close to getting that north-south choke.
Yeah, arm in, no less.
Yeah, I believe his hands are locked on the other side, so if so, it's very, very tight already.
Well, we'll see what Reed does here, because if he is to turn in, I mean, that could just give Pixley the opportunity to switch to a Darce or an Anaconda, and I don't think he's going to let this grip go for anything.
And he releases it right, he said, but he grabs his hand. Now his hands are connected, though, just on the head.
This is a big crank as well.
Oh, that was miserable.
Wow, let's go, but not just the choke there. Don't forget the spinal attack. All submissions illegal here at Who's Number One.
Cameron's seeming really interested to reach up towards Pixley's face. So I think we might see a little bit more aggression come into the fight. Yeah, Pixley controlling the head a little bit more here, kind of firing back a little bit at Cameron.
Yeah, Reed having a hard time really getting any kind of grip right. He's really reactive at the moment, not getting into position that he would prefer. Pixley picking and choosing his passing attempts at will at the moment here.
It is so hard to hand fight with a wrestler, right? Because they, of course, they've grown up. Their entire career has been no-gi hand fighting from day one. And jiu-jitsu guys, man, you know, we want to make contact with our opponents, but sometimes it's not that easy. A wrestler just knows how to win that battle.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just really aware positionally. I mean, and right now we see a really great sequences by Pixley kind of wrapping his hands through the legs to pass. But I like that both athletes seem kind of composed here, not really in a big rush. Big body lock, though, from here. Pixley over to the right. Smooth.
That was so smooth.
Yeah, just like you were saying, use the awareness of the hand fighting, the positioning of the hips. Just as soon as he locked that body lock, he was already past.
And he hasn't let the grip go as yet. You can see that Reed is framing from bottom. But Pixley has got a very tight control, and it can actually suck the energy out of your opponent.
I was just thinking, wrestlers have no problem just making your life miserable, squeezing, weighing on you, attacking you emotionally. And I think we're seeing some of that out there.
Attacking emotionally is a great way to put it, for sure. And so far, this is looking really similar, actually, to their match that they had at the Nogi Worlds. They take down a couple passes, some Darce attempts. But now Cameron kind of looking up, kind of making a what's going on motion with his hands here, as Pixley keeps the body lock so far.
I mean, I think that it's pretty clear what's going on. Pixley is wearing him down, and now he lets go of that grip, and he's going to try and go a little bit higher upon the body.
Well, sometimes it's nice to keep that body lock to force your partner to be frustrated and start framing really hard to expose the arms for the chokes and for the arm attacks. So I think that's exactly what we saw, and as he exposed the arms, he moved up to this head and arm control, which is very, very powerful.
Good frame on bottom. I like that right arm from Reed, the way that he's keeping the lat grip with the elbow in nice and tight. Of course, if that elbow comes away too far, look to Pixley to go high with possible katakatami or arm triangle choke. But we're not seeing too much bridging or bumping from bottom from Reed. And he needs to get his guard back. He needs to improve his position. It's not enough just to hang out here, right?
No, this is an absolutely horrible position for him to stay in, but we see Pixley bumping up. Gets the rest. Yep, judges go favor Pixley. We see him moving the elbow up to look to go to an arm triangle, but not only for the arm triangle, it really is a lot easier to go into knee on stomach or to the mount when that far arm is cleared, because they can't push the knee down the frame. So I could see him advancing the position to knee on belly or mount, or just going straight for the submission as well.
You look over to the corner of Michael Pixley and you see Jacob Couch, who will be competing here later tonight in a light heavyweight bout, and of course the Pedigo Submission Fighting founder, Heath Pedigo. Of course, you can learn more about those gentlemen and the rest of the Pedigo Submission Fighting team in our Daisy Fresh series. 2 full seasons on FloGrappling.com, the 3rd in production right now, and I believe that you'll probably see a lot of Pixley's exploits in that upcoming season.
Nice re-guard here by Reed, and then right back to, attacking the face and the head with his hand, maybe trying to frustrate Pixley a little bit here. Pixley went a little too high on the head and lost the side control position.
Yeah, at this point in the match, Cameron needs to do more than just annoy Pixley. He's got some serious ground to make up, and right now he just hasn't found an answer for the pressure as well as the distance management from Pixley. Really controlling the tempo throughout this match so far. Still time to work, with 8.5 minutes left.
Oh yeah, we're not even halfway through this match so far, and Reed he's weathered the storm, but there is that little
exchanges.
Yeah.
Exchanges of the forehead, some smiles too. I think Reed likes that. I think that's where he wants to take the match. I mean, obviously, he did get DQ'd for a slap in Ogi World, so I think he's definitely not afraid of that action, but it's not something that we necessarily are looking for here at who's number 1.
Look at that body lock, though, once again, and you can see Jacob Couch talking his teammate through these technical exchanges. Couch, of course, has a lot of experience under Who's Number 1 rules. Took 3rd place at the WNO Championship last September. And I like this, Will. Let's take a look at the technique here. Let's go back to the action. I love seeing this. Another guard pass, but that was a great last-second guard recovery by Reed.
Yeah, greater guard recovery by Reed, but I really like the side-to-side action from Pixley, finding the openings in whichever direction the hips are not facing.
Yeah, Pixley was also going for some new looks there, chasing the back a little bit, thinking about, okay, how can I actually get to a little bit better place to submit my opponent here? It's the kind of creativity you need after several minutes to assess your opponent's initial reactions here. Yeah,
one thing to keep in mind is that when these gentlemen fought before, it's a 6-minute match, right? So that's a very different situation than a 15-minute match here. We see the foot come over.
Look at this. Reed is going for a go-go plata here. He has the foot across the face, doesn't quite have the foot underneath the chin, but he could switch the omoplata here. This is a powerful attack, and this is classic 10th Planet, but Pixley rips his arm out. That was probably Reed's best attack in the match so far.
Definitely has to be encouraging for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think his it looks like Pixley might be slowing down the pace just a little bit here, and like I said, their matches are normally 6 minutes. For blue belts, is a big jump up to 15.
Yeah, great point, especially considering he came from wrestling where, 7-minute matches were more the standard, so this could be deep waters here for Pixley.
Another big palm from Reed. At the same time, though, in the room at PSF, they do, rounds that long all the time. So this guy has got an incredible gas tank. I'm not totally sure what circuits he normally plays in. I don't really know the time length he's used to, but you got to imagine that both the guys get this call for this match. They know what they're getting themselves into. They're training for 15-minute fights.
For sure. Cameron Reed, based out of Gulf Shores, Alabama, training with 10th Planet, and 10th Planet, they train for these kind of matches. They're not training for points. They're not training those kind of strategies. They are probably the best-known team for focusing on submission-only jiu-jitsu and grappling tournaments, and I'm sure that he'll have spent plenty of time in these positions, but that body lock, though, look at that. The Pixley just cannot be budged.
Yeah, even with all that pressure from the 2 arms, it was still super tight. But now back in on another body lock here, moving to the right-hand side. We're going to find out in about 20 seconds here where the judges' heads are at, where they think, who they think is leading the charge here in the match, who's making the most decisive jiu-jitsu, effective jiu-jitsu decisions here.
A little bit of footwork now from Pixley, side to side, just kind of a brief reset. But back in, he definitely likes this body lock pass. It's been working so well for him all evening.
Judges favor Michael Pixley.
Yeah, that's the second judge's favor for Pixley, and no surprise, really.
Yeah, it's interesting. Reed's done a good job of recovering the guard, but he hasn't really, other than that one look at the omoplata or gogoplata, he hasn't been able to get any of his own attacks or really any even dominant guard positions. So Pixley's been in a lot of control, but in the last 5 minutes, a lot can change when people start to get tired or people start to, find openings, things get slippery, and that changes a lot about the positions as well. But right back into the same body lock, double butterfly guard position with 2 hands on the face, big frame from Reed.
Where Pixley was passing with ease early in this match from those early positions, we can see he's definitely beginning to fade. He's looking to back out, reset in a safe manner instead of commit where he might not have the gas to finish. So you have to think Cameron needs to start turning it up now because this is his opportunity.
Yeah, I think that might be, that exactly like you said, that's the opportunity. This is the opening. If he's going to push, he needs to push now, right? Because if not, he's going to continue to fatigue as well as Pixley brings all this heavy pressure on the top position. And we've seen this same exchange now, 3 or 4 times. So it's going to be a battle of who's going to push more, who's going to get the pass, who's going to start to enter position from the bottom.
And it's not enough for Pixley just to hold on to that body lock and back out. He needs to work to improve his position. And you see now Reed is actually the one kind of chasing after Pixley. He's scooting forward, trying to get hold of him.
Yeah, a little more mat control here from Reed. But right as I say that, Pixley on a big knee cut attempt and going back to the center of the mat himself. Interesting, earlier Pixley was doing a little more passing from the feet and kind of cutting the angle and then closing the space, whereas now it seems he's closing the space and then trying to cut the angle, which can be very, very hard when you're passing. A lot of times we see great passers create an angle of opening and then shoot in and start on the pass, which is what he was doing in the beginning. But now he's going right into the center, and as I say that,
it is.
Of course, jumps right over into a beautiful pass.
That was great footwork from Pixley there, hopping over the left leg of Reed and settling down into this pin again. But of course, simply holding your opponent down is not the aim here. The aim is to finish by submission. So will he go high? Will he try and transition into a neck attack? It's what he's been looking for earlier, but Reed's defense has been pretty solid.
Yeah, Reed just not overcommitting. He may feel safe, kind of shelled up here, framing away when he can. Obviously under immense pressure from Pixley, but again, pretty rare to see tapping from pressure alone. So
yeah, but it's not going to be enough. With a little over 2 minutes left, Reed really has to start to get some of his own attacks. Good defense is not going to win him this match. And now Pixley, gets to conserve a little bit of his energy for a second before he goes in for the attack, it seems. So he's probably going to start moving towards the head and arm. We may see some darces, some Americanas. some darces, some anacondas, arm triangles. Same guillotines we were seeing earlier, maybe north-south.
And I think the difference is Reed as well. That earlier we saw when on bottom, he was purely defensive. He was very calm. He knew he had time to work. He's looking up at the clock constantly, and he's getting a little bit more active in trying to bridge and trying to make space because he knows he can't hang out here. He's got 100 seconds left, and he needs to make every single one of those count. But right now, Pixley is just in total control.
Yeah, it could work to Pixley's favor if Reed is starting to panic and starting to get a little bit desperate. That's usually when we start to make some mistakes, give some openings. Like right now, we see his right elbow flaring up more than normal. That could be a bad sign for him.
Yeah, I see a little look on Reed's face there, a little kind of grimace and a shake of his head. You can see that he's very frustrated. He just cannot get his game going.
Fight.
Yeah, big head and arm control here from Pixley, but we're going to need to see him either advance his position by bringing his left knee up to the stomach, or he needs to dig his head under the elbow and start to connect his hands together here. Almost a little buggy choke attempt here from Reed. Not quite anything locked up, but definitely thinking there that might be his only option with about a minute left.
I mean, it's a risky strategy. It can pay off fantastically, but look at this
big
now.
Reach through.
Yeah, reach through for the north-south choke. We see Pixley now sort of go around, but doesn't
this is
have
much
it.
better. Oh, and another guard recovery here by Reed.
think the sweat definitely a factor at this point as well. They're so slippery now. They're, you know, over 14 minutes into this match, and easier for Reed to slide his head out from that attack. Pixley, once again, just putting on the pressure and driving through the frame of Reed. Reed trying to move his hips, just cannot go anywhere.
I definitely think we're going to see Reed get desperate here. He's going to be creating some more action, maybe trying to enter the legs here, maybe
even
stand up.
Yeah.
25 seconds left on the clock. Attempted
15 seconds remaining.
Attempted some head control here from Reed, but it's not going to be enough. Pixley doing a great job of controlling the space. About 9 seconds left here.
Yeah, really, I think that this is a foregone conclusion at this point. The decision pretty clear. The Reed coming forward in the dying seconds, but as time is called, we go to our second decision of the night. I think everybody clear who the winner is in that one. Unanimous blue.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by unanimous decision, Michael Pixley.
Michael Pixley of Pedigo Submission Fighting takes the win here. And who's number one? Very tough, very hard fought, 15-minute match.
Two similar matches back to back. Two strong wrestlers, top position, multiple passes.
Indeed. Yeah, let's look at the best moments. Chase, talk us through it.
Yeah, the story of tonight's match here with Michael Pixley was the pressure passing, the body lock passing. We did see him open up here with an attack from the north-south position, really stating his intentions clearly. But after that, it was just body lock after body lock after body lock. And Reed was really not able to get off any significant offense beyond just defending himself. So really well done from Michael Pixley, showing off an impressive wrestling pedigree, as well as some jiu-jitsu skills that he's been picking up with the boys over at Pedigo Submission Fighting.
It's not an easy task to make that transition, to go from one grappling art to another. But Michael Pixley, you have done it very successfully. To move from wrestling to jiu-jitsu is no easy task. But those skills, they pay off. Huh? All that investment on the mat, time on the mat is golden, and you put it to work. Good work here, Tezos, who's number one.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about the match, Michael. Looked pretty simple to me, the case of control and working your opponent, but man, you look like you were just this close to getting that finish. What was going wrong there?
No, just really stick to the game plan, you know, just stay dominant, all positions, and if the submission attempt came, you know, go for it.
Now the match, of course, you have history with Reed. You'd faced off before, think got a little bit chippy. Was that a factor in this match at all? Looked like a pretty intense start.
Nah, man, it went basically the way I thought it was gonna go.
Did he bring anything to the table that surprised you at all in the match tonight? How was the game plan for you?
He didn't really get off any offense, so I just stuck to the body lock pass. He did a good job of just pushing me off of him, keeping the distance, and nah, man, good shit, Cam.
Now, I remember the last time I saw you in action was at the IBJJF World No-Gi Championships, where you just ran through your opponents with a series of choke attacks. You were going for it tonight, right? You were working on that neck.
Yeah, I don't know, he probably knew it was coming, so couldn't really get it off.
No surprise, if you're going to face Michael Pixley, you know what to expect. Tough wrestling and definitely going after the neck. Well, hard fought, 15 minutes. Thanks for putting it on the line here at Tezos, who's number one.
Thank you.
One more prelim match to go. It is a flyweight match between Jesse Crane and Alexa Yanez. And that will round things out before we get underway here with the main card. We'll be right back after this.
This event is presented by Fat Tire, America's first certified carbon neutral beer.
Tonight's event is sponsored by Swing Mats by Dollamere, the official mat of